Where arts and adventure summits the airwaves. This is the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. I'm Brandon along with Todd Oberndorfer. Todd, where are you dialing in from?
I'm dialing in from work, so I'm at the Finch Lane Gallery. I'm technically working tonight.
Yeah.
So if I disappear, it's because I'm going to go say hi to somebody that comes into the gallery. But I don't foresee having too many people come in tonight. So.
All right. Well, let's introduce our guests in studio. We have the ladies, I guess, from the Rose Club. So,
what's up?
Michelle Tierney.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
Yep.
Jess. What's your last name?
Harper.
That's right. Harper.
Yep.
I knew that. Jess Harper. Alex Hoover with 1 O is also joining us. He is our arts guest this week. Fine arts Western photographer.
Yeah, I like how you explain that.
Okay, well, I stole it from your Instagram, I think.
Yeah, go ahead and throw that out there.
Okay, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Images by Alex Hoover.
I think it's better than, the other thing I read on there was like equine photographer, and that just didn't sit right with me.
That's what I do too.
Yeah, I know. But
that's fine.
Okay. Todd, did you want to introduce yourself or what you're doing down there or what show you've got going on?
Yeah, I can. And so this was sort of a last minute thing. So I do have a gallery assistant, Deanne, and it's her birthday today. And so she requested the night off. Usually she works the night. And so we are open from 5:30 to 8:30, which we're almost there. And so that's what I made.
Oh, so you're not even open yet.
I figure we could do both.
Okay. Well, I like the sticker behind your right shoulder. It's the Ogden Arts and Adventure sticker. It looks good. If anyone wants one, we have them here at the studio. So, yeah.
Oh, yes, on the wall back there.
Yeah, on the wall back there.
Yeah, I distributed a few here as well. So.
Yeah, no, that's
So anyway,
good.
sorry I can't be there, but I'm glad I can join. You know, it's 2023. We can do this.
We can do versions of it.
We know this life.
Yes, we do. All right, so let's jump into the Rose Club, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Michelle Tierney, what do you call your position with the Rose Club?
I would say,
organizer in chief,
founder, organizer.
Okay.
Yeah, bossy person. Any of the above.
Not too bossy.
If you catch me on a good day, yeah.
What is the Rose Club?
So the Rose Club, it's a female-focused skate and snowboard community based here in Utah.
Okay.
We're female-focused, but we're actually open to anyone and everyone who wants to join us. We have a lot of dudes who like to come skate with us, who feel more comfortable.
This is great already. Mm-hmm. That was Alex's question. From the get-go was, I don't think I'm invited. So...
Alex,
I'm just going off of what you put on Instagram.
We want you there. We want you there. Come on by.
Although it is very hard to skate in cowboy boots.
That's true. This is true.
Yeah, you might have to switch those up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But.
So Alex does have cowboy boots on. It is hard to skate in cowboy boots. Although snowboarding, maybe you might be able to pull off a little better.
I think
so. That sounds very natural. Setting up a snowboard and skate community because you are a golfer.
Yep.
From Ireland.
Yep, it all makes sense. It's exactly what you would think, right?
So how the hell did that happen?
Long story. So I'm from Ireland. I moved over here in 2013. Kind of came over sight unseen. Emailed a bunch of golf coaches because I heard somebody else had done it in my hometown and was like,
and by over here, you mean to the States?
Yeah.
Did you come
America.
to Ogden first?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually ended up in this small town called Claremore, Oklahoma.
Everything is okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was my dad, we flew over on the flight. My dad dropped me off and then left me. And then I was like, oh, shit, we're really doing this. This is America. And, yeah, it was definitely a lot different than what I had seen in the movies. Yeah. It was wild. It was really wild, but I loved it. Like I really had a great time. And then ended up I transferred schools, ended up coming to Weber State, and then spent a few years in college there.
But you're in nowhere, Oklahoma.
Yes.
From Ireland. Mm-hmm. How the hell did you find Weber State?
So I was dating a guy back in college, and he was from Ogden. And I was looking for colleges, and I was like...
Alex, we're all over.
Yeah.
Us Ogden people.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you can't
she's got it.
get away from them.
No,
you know?
she's got a great story. I love it.
Yeah.
We were talking before.
Yeah. So and then he was like, "You should check out Weber State. You know, it's a good college. I know the coach." So I was like, "Yeah, let's give it a go."
The golf coach.
The golf coach, yep, at Weber, Smitty. He's like a Ogden legend.
Yeah.
But and then ended up getting a full ride to Weber. Played there for 4 years. And then that relationship didn't work out. But then I eventually found my husband, who's the manager at Crossroads Skate Shop in Ogden, the local shop on 12th Street.
His name?
Austin Gum.
Okay. Austin's your husband?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Austin's my husband.
Okay.
Yeah, so then met Austin and kind of found myself getting into that world, which is kind of like my family are like, "Wait, what? Like you're skateboarding now?"
Okay,
I was like,
so
yeah.
is there any correlation between those sports?
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, not even
Okay.
in the slightest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because like watching Michelle do any sport, it's clear that athleticism translates to everything that she does.
I would agree with that. She's athletic for sure, right?
I'm flattered.
I did watch the Pebble Beach Pro-Am this weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
And mostly with the sound off, because the shots from Pebble Beach over the ocean and the greens is like the most beautiful thing
Yeah,
you'll
it's
ever
insane.
see. It's wild.
Beautiful.
Did you have ambitions of doing something like that, or you just knew like college is where it's at, and I'll get myself through college, and that's it with golf?
Yeah, I didn't really have like too much planning like with the golf. I just said, yeah, I'll do the 5 years. We'll see how it goes. And see where I end up. I think when I like was in college, I was like, I could see myself living in America. Like I really like it here. It's a good lifestyle. Love Ireland. The one thing I do miss a lot about Ireland is the food. Like I cannot.
What?
What's your favorite Irish dish?
Just like straight up potatoes. Yeah. Like yeah.
We suck at potatoes here, Alex. What are we
What are you talking
doing?
about? They got potatoes everywhere.
They're just not the same. I know. What I like my favorite go-to dish that like I had like most days growing up is just like meat, potatoes, and gravy. But like good gravy. It's different gravy than.
Are we missing something?
I think we're doing
Because
something wrong.
I feel like that is the American West
I don't
in America.
It's
Yeah.
different. It's different. It's just like the meat's different over here.
It's better.
Yeah.
It's better.
It's not
Alex only
quite
eats
as
bison,
good.
apparently. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm like, I need to go to your butcher because.
Just
But
saying.
that's the thing. I can't find a good butcher here. I just like I haven't seen really any butchers out here.
Just you could say butcher all night because that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there any
where's
way to
butchers
lower your microphone?
Maybe.
Because it's blocking your face, and I don't like that very much. But my only tie to Ireland is that my daughter is in Irish dance and crushing it.
No way.
There's not very many studios around here that teach it. There's only one. The one that I know of is in Layton, and it's Lorraine's Dance Unlimited.
No
She's
way.
like 105 years old. We love Lorraine. She is getting up there though, and she
Shout out Lorraine.
She crushes it, and she crushes dreams too because she's very hardcore.
that.
But she
Respect.
teaches Irish. Yeah, she teaches Irish, and so
No way.
my daughter performs every year at a couple different places. But I mean, we're just creeping up on that time of year where we do the
Yeah.
Irish celebrations here
Coming.
at Piers Egyptian Theater. And so she performs in that, and that will actually be on St. Patrick's Day this year. And then she does do a performance in the spring at the Ogden Nature Center where she dances, and she's now in Celtic Beat is like the top group. Junior Celtic was the kids group, and she just graduated from junior.
She's in the big leagues.
Now she's in the big. Her and her two friends they're all the same age, and they're like the youngest of the big leagues. And so we'll see how that goes.
So
That's rad.
This might be like stereotyping or something, but like I'm like thinking of like river dancing, Irish river. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
You've
Like
seen, you've
clogs,
seen me
right?
do-
Yeah.
No clogs. I don't know what the clogs.
They have
They clog?
Tap shoes.
They have two different dances: soft shoes and hard shoes. The soft shoes is like
We were talking like tap shoes.
the
Yeah.
tap shoes are like boots, kind of with the tappy things on the bottom.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and they make loud noise, like a clog. Kind of.
Yeah.
Did
I'm
you say-
thinking like this, like, is it like those wooden clogs? Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's not
Okay.
the.
But you do this.
Well, I have in the past. Yeah, I have been known at a few
Everyone
parties
dabbles.
to bust
To
out a few
what?
moves. Yeah.
Do you- has-
The time's right. Yeah.
You got to pay extra for that.
Yeah.
well,
Well, I'm wondering what it'll take before we leave because
Brandon said there was
Yeah.
Jameson here, so
We do have Jameson
you
here.
never know.
Yeah.
Todd, how fast could you get here?
With the Jameson and Guinness, I can bring it all. We can bring it all.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna mic up the floor, and you're gonna.
I like it. Before the podcast is over, maybe.
Never know.
Yeah,
We'll
you
see.
never
We'll
know.
see.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at.
2,
Alex.
3
yeah.
Guinnesses, and I'll join in as well.
Hell yeah. I do. Yeah. One of the dances requires a partner. So if you're in,
I don't.
go.
Do you know Chase? With friends with Tristan Bryden and
Oh, yeah.
Lucky Slice?
Yeah.
Do you know he has a secret talent? He can clog like a mofo.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chase is
whatever.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, he can.
Chase is actually my partner.
Oh, I didn't know that you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
her. Yeah,
Oh,
that's her boyfriend.
Yeah,
didn't know. Is
Yep.
he in town?
he is in town.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
now.
For now.
Yeah.
I know he's always doing something.
Yeah.
Funny because I think I was talking to him about my daughter, and he was like, "Oh, I want to see something." And it was at like the, I think it was at the fundraiser, like the Ogden Avalanche fundraiser at the front, and he all of a sudden just, I think my daughter was there. That's why, and he just busts out these moves. I'm all, what is this?
Yeah. I'm
What
not
is this?
surprised at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
he has some
surprises
secret
there.
talents.
Yeah, he does.
I haven't seen it very much, but it is special when you.
How many
Yeah.
beers? Is this?
Not very many, I feel
Yeah,
like.
really
I feel
not
like
very
he's
many.
kinda down.
Like less than one, probably.
Okay.
He's down.
Oh, yeah, I need to ask him about the clogging.
Yeah.
Todd, my only other reference to Ireland to make Michelle feel comfortable is you, because you actually went there and drank Guinness, and she said she could actually give tours for you.
Yeah,
factory.
dude, let me know. Yeah, if anyone wants a tour of the whole country, I got you. Hit me up.
Done. Next time over, we'll do it.
Done.
I had a chance to stay over there for about a month or so, and
Oh,
it was
wow.
amazing. I had a great time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's doing it right. I feel like it's hard sometimes when you're trying to cram it all in a week or 10 days, but that's awesome.
Do you
Yeah,
go
we
back very
spent
often?
I think about 2 weeks in Dublin, and then we spent the rest of it just driving around
Yeah, that's
and getting
awesome.
lost, and it was great. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good place to get lost in.
Alex,
Sure.
a question?
I'm just
and
curious.
it's a good place to drink Guinness. I do love Guinness. I want one right now.
Yeah, it's hard to get I feel like it's hard to get a good pint of Guinness out here. They're kind of different. Did you feel like they were different when you went to Ireland?
Oh, well, I had to wait like a full day because we flew into Shannon, and then we went to I think it was the Guinness Jazz Festival the first night we were there in Cork. And
Yeah,
then,
that's like-
so
that's such a-
I waited
that's a big
almost 2
festival.
days.
Wow.
Oh, it
that's
was so
impressive.
fun. We saw a group called the Water Boys who I was just obsessed with. And
No, yeah, the Cork Jazz Festival is like a really big thing. I live in Waterford, which is like, an hour.
Yes, we
hour and a
went
half.
there.
Oh, really?
We even toured your
No
Crystal
way.
facility.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
it was
we got
great.
the Crystal. That's for sure. That's
Oh,
our
it was
claim
so
to fame.
fun.
But yeah, my brother plays in the jazz festival every year. He's got a band and they play. But it's I haven't made it out to the jazz festival ever, and I need to go.
Well, I got you beat in that one.
Yeah, that's
capacity.
impressive. That's impressive. I love it.
But I wanted my first pint to be at St. James Gate. So we waited. It was like 2 days before we were in Dublin. So it was torture.
Oh, wow.
It was torture to wait those 2 days because they pretty much want you to drink from the airport on
Yeah.
as you get off of the
It's a
plane.
lot of pressure. Yeah,
Like,
You got a bit
and-
more willpower than I do. That's for sure.
The Uber driver's
a
just
choice.
handing them to you. I guess.
It was a choice. But having my first pint on that 360-degree room above
Oh,
St. James
yeah.
Gate was worth every
It's
minute.
so
it was
good.
so good. It was like they just dipped it out of the Guinness River. It was
Oh, it's beautiful. I love that Guinness River.
It's like Willy Wonka in
That
the
shit
Guinness
is
factory.
good. Yeah, oh, seriously, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I brought like my husband and one of my friends over last Christmas with us, and I think we flew in at probably like 8 a.m. Irish time, and then we got a taxi straight to St. James's Gate, and we had Guinness, and it was great. It was like the best first touch point that I could have brought them to.
Breakfast.
I love it.
Yeah,
If you do have a
breakfast, yeah.
chance, I just recently visited my brother who lives outside of DC, and I went to I think it's called Open Gate. It's in Baltimore. So it's their facility here in the States, and it's obviously not the same, but it was a nice little flashback. It's a nice facility they have.
Oh, that's
here as
awesome!
well.
I didn't even know that they had a place out here, so that's cool.
Just opened a few years ago, but it has this amazing, bar and tour, and it's this not the same, but it was lovely.
It's not the same. That's awesome.
Jess, I don't think we properly introduced you.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Who are you? What do you do for the Rose Club?
I'm Jess Harper. I'm from Ogden.
Yep.
Michelle and I actually
Like downtown
met,
Ogden, like Rodeo Grounds Ogden?
No, well, that's where I live currently.
Now.
But
Oh,
I grew
okay.
up west of Ogden.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, in Plain City. But I met Michelle on a gondola at Snow Basin.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Austin and Chase are friends, and so they kind of introduced us. Michelle was on skis at the time, so
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Oh, really?
she was on
Okay.
skis.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
No.
I mean,
I still ski every now and
no,
then.
it's not a thing.
pretty
I'm just
fun.
kidding. Yeah, so we met, and I don't know. Michelle has a talent for making fast friends with, I think, just about everyone, and
Yeah.
so we became fast friends. And we were interested in the same things. I think it was like around 2020, everyone picked up their skateboards again, and we wanted to skate. But the skate park is a scary place, I think, for anybody, not just women. And so we started skating together, and that's
Where's
kind
the
of
skate park at in Ogden?
it's right by the Lauren Farr swimming pool.
Okay, that's where.
Yeah. That's where it all really kicked off. But Jess is like my right hand woman, has been there since the start, and kind of like my person I bounce all my ideas off of. She shoots ideas at me. But yeah, has been.
So this is a
has been
club.
Yep.
Are you applying for nonprofit status?
Yeah, so that's the end goal right now. We're just trying to work through. It's a, like, from what I hear, it's a long process, can take up to a year. So we're just trying to get our finances in order so we can afford to go into that endeavor. But yeah, like the Rose Club isn't a traditional club where you have to like join. It's just kind of a show up and you're in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really not hard.
So what's your?
Just like you're in the club. you know?
Everyone's in the club.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
We're in the Rose Club.
Like,
I don't know if you know
Right.
this.
Well, you
Right.
guys are one of the gals now, you know.
One of the gals.
Always wanted to be. This is good.
Welcome to the club.
What's the big vision for this in the future? Because this wasn't the job you had dreamed of, or is it? And then,
Yeah, I mean, definitely not what I ever thought I would ever end up doing. But I think it's something that kind of came across my plate, and I was like, wow, I really feel passionately about this. And same with Jess. And
why is that? What attracts you to this club and
You
supporting
started
women?
it then?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. I think the biggest thing is just like, I feel like me and Jess have similar childhoods, like where we grew up and we were always the tomboys of the group. And I think you have felt that same way as well. And we always were trying to prove ourselves to the guys and, always trying extra hard. And never really had like other women that we could do things with, It was always the dudes. And for me growing up in Ireland, there was never anything like skateboarding or obviously snowboarding. And that's something like I always would see on TV and be like, oh, I wish I could do that. That'd be so cool. And then even coming out here, when I first started skateboarding, there wasn't really anyone that I was skateboarding with. And it's fun. It's great riding with the boys, it's awesome. But they're just at a different level. And you're just trying to learn how to push or ollie or. And then I kind of figured out there was like a few other people who were doing the same thing. And I went to the skate park actually at Lauren Farr, and there was a few local girls that were there. And right as I walked in, I was kind of sheepishly hanging around watching Austin get after it. And they actually approached me, which I was nervous, and they're younger than me. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, welcome. Like, what are you doing? What's your name? And I was like, wow, that was such a positive experience that I had from these local girls that came up to me. They didn't know me. They didn't have to come up and say hi. And they did. And I think that's kind of like what inspired the Rose Club is having that sense of community or having that sense of, friend group when you go into a skate park. I think one of the main things that the Rose Club like tries to do, and something that we really push for other people who are in the Rose Club, is when you see somebody enter a skate park, just go up and say, hey, ask them what they're working on, ask them how long they've skated for. It's as simple as that, because I think sometimes like just walking in the gate of a skate park can be pretty intimidating. And there's been many times where I've even gone to Salt Lake, had my skateboard and been like, I don't even know if I can get out of the car. It's like pretty intimidating. People are like so much better than me, and it doesn't seem that inviting. So that was one of the main things with the Rose Club, is I wanted to change that and make sure like, hey, when you skate with the Rose Club, it's a group who actually care about you and want to make you get better and want to make you feel welcomed.
Yeah, good. I grew up like a lot of kids skateboarding. I was pretty heavy into it junior high. And then you get into high school, you get this thing called a driver's license, and the skateboard goes away. But my kid is now trying to skateboard. So how and that I've run into the exact same scenario you're talking about, only with kids, because he's 8. And you go to the skate park, and all the kids are older, and they're all using language he hasn't heard. Well, he's heard it from my lips a few times, but also he heard some things we don't talk about. Yeah, a few times. Just a couple times.
Oh my gosh!
But the content was the surrounding content the kids were talking about was definitely different than what he hears at the house. So there's that when you go to a skate park, and then there's just the fact that the kids who are probably in their 20s, are really good.
Yeah.
And my son, who's 8, is trying to learn how to go down a hill.
Yeah.
So do you encourage kids as well to join the Rose Club, or is this adults only? Like, how does this work?
I'll let you go for it, Jess.
Everybody is welcome. I think that
Alex?
Yeah, we're talking about you, Alex.
I think
Well, what's funny is when he said, "Oh, you're gonna have some skateboarders and snowboarders on tonight," I'm like, "You couldn't have found anybody more opposite than me." That's okay. I love your guys' story. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love all of this.
We're
Yeah.
we're gonna get you at the skate park here soon. This summer, dude.
Hey, I'm
We'll get you some Vans.
okay.
We'll go to Crossroads.
Vans.
We'll go to Crossroads.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that something that we've heard a lot from people that have come and rode with the Rose Club is just how inviting the environment is. Like, I've experienced walking into a skate park, seeing women, and it still being kind of, not very
Catty.
welcoming.
Women are catty. Is that what you're saying?
Some people
Not
are
very
catty.
welcoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of men come to the Rose Club events and just say that they've been intimidated to go into a skate park too. I think it's just it's an environment where gravity rules, and to be a good skateboarder, you really have to own it, and it takes a lot of respect. And so to be owning it in a skate park feels really good, I bet, for the people that are doing it. So for the people that come to the Rose Club, it just can be such a nice, inviting experience to be able for anybody to skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, your son is 8, right? It's gnarly to go, because you're trying to find somewhere like, hey, I want to get better at skateboarding. Skate park's super, there's dudes killing it, and there's skateboards flying
Tray
everywhere.
flipping right by you.
I'm intimidated.
Yeah.
Right.
For God's sake. He wants me to take him to Crossroads because it's indoor, and I'm like, but he wants me to skate with him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because I know just enough to get myself in trouble.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't go to these these kids are so good. I feel goofy. You know?
And that's why, with the Rose Club, we started, and we did in the summers, we do Saturday skates. So we usually do them at 10. They go to 10 to 12. But that's usually a pretty good time in the morning where it's still quiet enough at the skate park, where there's not, a lot of the skateboarders aren't up yet. So the park is pretty quiet. But also, we kind of, when we go to a skate park, take up space, We kind of hold our ground, and this is where we're going to be dropping in. This is where we're going to be rolling. If you got an issue with it, come talk to me.
Yeah. And I wouldn't want to have an issue with you.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Not after that look.
Not after that look.
Yeah, you guys know.
No.
You guys
But
know.
I did notice, so I took my son to the, what do you call it, the North Ogden skate park, which I like.
Yeah, it's great.
And guess who shows up? Tristan, to film probably the best skateboarders in town.
Yeah.
And they did. They took over the park.
Yeah.
We had a little section on the side, but I actually knew them, which is wild because I didn't think I knew any skateboarders in town, but I knew them, and I'm like, and it was respectful, and it was great, and they sort of stayed out of the way because we were with a posse of kids, and they didn't want anything to do with us, and we didn't want anything to do with them because they were clearly really good and had their own lines and everything, and so, and that part was cool, but I did notice how if a group good enough shows up, they can dominate a park pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like sometimes when we arrive at parks, we do this annual skate trip to Montana, and we do the Evergreen Parks. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Evergreen Parks. They're awesome. You should look them up.
Look them up.
They're just these parks that are built by this one company, Evergreen. I think it's Evergreen Skate Parks or something. But they build these like undulating parks. There's no real edges. They're just rolling hills. but they're really awesome. So we'll do that trip.
Like Ireland.
Yeah, it just reminds me of home. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we go to these parks, but we'll show up and there's like 25 of us, and it's pretty it's a pretty big
That's a
statement.
crew.
Like you have 25 women just come out of nowhere, in these small towns in
That's when
Montana.
Alex and I grab our skateboards and walk off.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. There's strength in numbers, and I think that's like the biggest thing about the Rose Club is we just want to make sure people feel like they can have access to spaces like the skate park or snowboarding even. Like Jess and I are probably more snowboarders than we are skateboarders, and that's something we're really passionate about. And what we've been trying to focus on these last 2 years is trying to get people to the mountain. So we work very closely with Powder Mountain, who've been awesome, and we do cheap ride nights up at Powder Mountain. And it just allows people who've never had the opportunity to ride at these mountains, the opportunity to go up there. And if they need gear, we're always encouraging people to hit us up because we either have the gear or we know somebody who does have the gear.
Yeah.
And same, we just had a ride day last Saturday up at Powder Mountain. And it was awesome. We had 79 people register for the event, which was insane to us.
Incredible.
We were like, we planned and we were like, oh, we'll have, 12-ish people, all our
Pancakes, hot
friends.
dogs, and they were
just low key,
Yeah.
And then we saw there were 79 people. I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
Incredible.
So where did
Insane.
that word get out on then?
Just Instagram, I
Through
think.
Instagram.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. I feel like we're starting to feel like, the word is just spreading naturally now, and we're not having to put in as much work. Like we'll put out something and then it's spreading. And we have a lot of people from Salt Lake coming up, to ride with us, which is really cool. But
So as a group, as a club, how do you stay non-clicky and open?
I think the one thing that we always preach, and it's something that I think Jess and I just are naturally like this, but we don't have any time for drama. We stay out of it. We encourage a lot of the Rose Club people when they are at the skate park without the Rose Club to go up to people, say hi, ask them how they're doing, ask them what they're working on, if they need any help, just that kind of thing. And I think the people that are in the Rose Club are definitely the biggest asset to the Rose Club.
Absolutely. People showing up. And I think we've all experienced cattiness. We know what we know what that is like, but we also know what it's like just to be genuinely kind. And Michelle, myself, if anybody comes up to us, it's just kindness and literally stoke. Growing up at Powder Mountain, riding with only dudes, Saturday was just also so healing for me. Riding with such a badass group of women is so fun. We're all on the same level, trying the same tricks, jumping off the same stuff. It's just so fun. So I think that stoke and that energy comes through
in everybody,
in our kindness, but also in everyone.
Yeah, which is cool because I feel like that's sometimes that's not the easiest, but I think just that's a really, really big part of the Rose Club is just promoting being kind to people. And that thing, if you see somebody enter the gates of a skate park, we're kind of aggressively nice. Sometimes I'm we are aggressive with the niceness. We are come hang with us. About the Rose Club? And I feel like they're probably whoa, this is insane.
Right.
But I feel like that's a way better way to be than the opposite, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, I think that's definitely helped.
Is there a pledge?
Absolutely. No, just kidding.
I didn't know what you had to do to be a member.
Don't be
Don't be a
mean.
dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I was allowed to say that, but
Yeah. Oh, you can say whatever you want
Okay,
on this
sick.
podcast. Todd, you got any questions for these lovely ladies here in studio?
Well, I do want to plug one thing that I'm sure the ladies are familiar with, and that is so a project that I think we talked about it a few episodes back that I started with a few friends called Salty Magazine. Anyway, we had one of our contributors, Ian, which you guys know well, I'm sure,
we love
wrote
Ian.
up a nice piece about the Rose Club and one of your trips up to Montana, I think from a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so you can find that amazing article and some really awesome photos on salty-mag.com. And then there is a chance, and you heard it here first, that piece might make it into a print piece that we're trying to work on too.
Wow.
Exciting.
But
Yeah.
it's a really great story. It really is you have such a great story. I fell in love with all of you guys just back when I heard about you through Ian. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, we love
huge
Ian
supporter.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Isn't
Ian
he
is
great?
Ian is like the
and
backbone
McKenna,
of the
who wrote
Rose
it,
Club.
did so good.
Yeah, McKenna is
What's
awesome.
that?
Ian is the backbone of the Rose Club. Ian's been at all the Rose Club meets, I think, since the start, and Ian is a big part of like the Rose Club's reputation. I think anyone who meets Ian, I feel like feels welcomed in and feels like they're a part of the group. And I think that's a credit to Ian's personality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah, he does not have an aggressive vibe, that guy.
Absolutely not.
he's the best, but he's also such a shredder. Like,
Yeah, have
he's
you guys
the most
have you guys seen
amazing
Ian skate?
skateboarder, amazing snowboarder.
Snowboarder.
Oh, there's been some. Yeah, he's really good.
No,
so
I
good.
saw the
Insane.
photos. Did Cam do a photo
Yeah,
shoot with him?
that was amazing.
Those photos are
Beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Ian's the best. But yeah, that was the Montana trip that was in that article, and that article was super special to us. And the drawings, Ian passed around a notebook, and we all got to draw different pictures that represented that trip, and those made it into the article, which is pretty cool. So we were stoked that Salty Bag did that.
Do you have any events coming up you want to plug, or how can we follow the Rose Club?
Yeah, well, one of our next events is we're actually partnering with Ogden Avalanche on the 24th and 25th. We're doing a backcountry 101 class, which is definitely geared towards anybody who kind of wants to get into the backcountry who's never done it before. It's very cheap compared to some of the other classes that are out there. And if you guys want any more information on that, just go to our Instagram page and click the link in the bio, and you can sign up for that. And then one of our big events of the year is the Backyard Jam, which is up at Powder Mountain, March 11th. And that's, if you haven't been to it, you should go to it. It's a great time. It's good vibes. Usually there's sunshine. But yeah, it's awesome. It's great. But yeah, same with that. We're going to be posting about that very soon on our Instagram with more details on how you can sign up. And we have a website. It's like www.the-rose-club.com.
I bet if you just Google it, we'll find all the things we need to know.
I think so. Hopefully we're like the
Yeah.
first.
Oh,
results
one
up
last
there.
question, Brandon.
Yeah.
So late night at IHOP, what do you guys talk about? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 2-year plan? How would you like to see things sort of shake out? Because I'll tell you what, I worked out in Salt Lake. I live in Ogden. I'm involved in both places, and Rose Club is word of mouth. You can't believe, and you probably have an idea, but even further than what you might think. And so I'm sure at this point you're trying to be a little bit strategic about some of your decisions you're making. And so what do we have to look forward to? What can we all collectively do to help?
Yeah, wow, big question. I think the next thing that's the biggest thing on our radar is getting the nonprofit status. That would be huge for us. We've been working with a lot of bigger brands, which has been really fun because bigger brands mean we can have bigger impact in what we do. I think the same thing is true. We just want to get more people into these spaces and just create more welcoming spaces.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add too. It's just the feeling that the Rose Club gives to us. If we can have more people experience that, and again, just to reiterate, that's women, non-binary, trans, men, we are not just a women's club. We are female focused.
Absolutely.
Because they seem to be a minority in these spaces, but yet it's really, really for everyone. So sharing that feeling that you get when you do come to an event, and I encourage everyone to come to one of our events because it is visceral. It is such an experience that you have to feel. And so, yeah, other than what Michelle said, just growing that feeling and that impact, which we
just
have
putting on more events, I think, right? Yeah, the events have been the biggest success for us because it can reach out to that many more people. And then, ways you can support is just resharing our events and getting the word out. We just want to see more people involved.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. We also have in studio Alex Hoover, who...
Alex, we're out of time, buddy. That's
That's okay.
It's been nice
It's
seeing
honestly,
ya.
it's fine.
We'll squeeze you in next time.
Yeah. I enjoyed listening to these guys.
We're
You guys-
we're
these
talking.
ladies are awesome.
Well, we're excited to hear about you next time.
We talked about that already. Out of the trailer. We're good.
I think you got more.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you got more.
No. Okay. My only request is that Michelle talks in her hard
Oh,
hard
God.
Irish
Oh, don't
accent.
say
The
English.
rest,
Oh, no.
English, yeah.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Oh, I already
Sorry.
screwed up.
Little faux pas. I know that. Yeah.
My only request is Michelle might pours us some Jameson shots as we're listening to.
I'm trying to eye it up there.
Alex, yeah, yeah, feel free.
I still have to drive home. You
Yeah,
realize.
one
Uber.
shot. One shot. Alex, are you convinced? Are you going to skateboard soon?
Yeah. So no, I'm not going to do that anytime soon. But honestly, though, like these guys, the ladies' stories is great. I mean, if I was, to me, what you're all about is just humans being good to humans is what it's about, and
Absolutely.
that to me is what is awesome about
yeah.
that whole thing. You know, so it's good to hear. Good, you guys are awesome.
No,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've established that. That's good. You do some pretty cool things too. You want to talk about that?
I don't know. He said we were on time, right?
Oh, don't listen to me.
I don't like talking about myself. I'm not even sure why I'm here.
Oh,
honestly.
well, because I invited you and you
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
And you said, let me shower first. And it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. So I don't know what you're doing with your life. But
Hey,
that seems
hey.
pretty good life. So
Well, some
It's because
people.
he was up on the mountain. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
let's see. Oh, it's 3:00. I got to shower first. I'm like, thank you.
Oh,
First of all,
I showered
And,
yesterday.
Once
Is
a
that
week,
on?
right?
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you are our neighbor here,
Our neighbor,
right on the other side of this trailer, and you have these
you're a
wonderful
good
photos. Yeah, great neighbor, our favorite neighbor because you're never here.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Exactly.
Austin was great too, but he made a lot of noise when he was here sometimes. So and he does work with you.
He does do work with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
explain here's what I want to know. Do you recall the day where you were like, "Oh man, those horses are gorgeous. I need to go take some photos of them." Like, how did that happen?
Well, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a longer story as far as that goes. I
got all night.
You got, yeah.
I don't know about these ladies.
We have all night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex, keep it short, buddy. Keep it short.
So why isn't Todd here?
I know. I know.
I'm so disappointed that he's not here right now. So I could look him in the eye.
I'm not even turning my screen towards you.
No, I actually got into photography in a kind of a, I don't know, it was just a weird way. I like my kids back in the day. I used to have an old flip phone that, you know, I mean,
We all did.
Yeah, we all. Me and you are about the same age. You know what I mean? We had all the same technology about the same time, and they fought me. They're like, "Oh, Dad, you'll love a flip phone or a smartphone or whatever." I'm like, I don't need a smartphone. The flip phone's fine. I'm doing great. And they're like, then we went in to get new phones, and the phone company was like, "We don't sell flip phones anymore."
What?
So, yeah. So,
What?
Plot.
No, that was the thing.
Plot
That was the thing.
twist.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Fine, give me this phone or whatever."
iPhone 1.
It could have been.
Let's
It could
go.
have been. Yeah. It probably was. Now that you say it. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and it had a camera on it, and I actually started playing around with the camera on my phone. Is how my photography career took off.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started like taking pictures while I was out doing stuff, and then I just post them randomly or whatever on social media and different things, and people started getting a lot of reaction from them, and I started having fun, and I'd always tell a story with them or what I was doing or this and that, and pretty soon things just kind of started snowballing, and next thing you know, I get a bigger camera, a better camera, more and more into it, getting more feedback, getting way, you know. And then one day I was up at my buddy's ranch up in just east of Ogden and Woodruff, about 50, 60 miles. And I was on the river fishing, and I had my camera with me, and a couple of horses came down to the river and just started drinking out of the river. And I was like, I took out my camera and just started taking pictures. And
What? Can we talk about what camera did you have first?
so I had the Canon 70D is what I had. This is what I started with.
Okay.
Yeah, just a kit lens. And just started taking pictures of the horses, and I got home and downloaded them into Lightroom.
Hey.
And started messing around. And,
was there a Lightroom
yeah, we had a
discussion
little-
that I
yeah.
missed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. You missed it.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I just realized, I was like, holy cow, I love this. Like I've taken, cause I fly fish a bunch. I do a lot of other stuff, but like the horse thing, just my background and my, everything that I do, it just connected with me, and I just started taking more and more and more. And as far as the wild horses go, it's a funny story too. Like I never thought that I never set out to take wild horse pictures. I was always interested. I talked to people that had gone out. I started following people on social media that were wild horse photographers, and same thing. Just started thinking, wow, this is neat. I want to try it. And I went out to the West Desert probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 times and seen maybe 2 or 3 horses the whole time I was out there. No, literally. And I was like, but I just kept going back because I was interested. And finally on one day I went out and I seen a horse. He was walking along the road and he looked like he was going somewhere. So I just started, I was like,
He's on a mission.
yeah. And the funny thing was I actually recognized him from the social media posts from other photographers that I followed. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I know that horse, and I'm like, well, he might be going somewhere.
Famous.
Jim.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah,
Jim.
yeah, He was the old man. He was a gray horse, but he had been around forever, and he was just like a famous wild horse. Yeah.
Now, for those listening who don't understand, these are wild horses
Correct.
in the middle of where? Utah?
So they're just west of Tooele.
Okay,
Yeah,
why
in the West
are they
Desert.
wild out there?
Well, because nobody owns them.
Good answer, but like, but like, this is the West. In other words, some people don't understand. Like, there are wild horses out here. Still.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay. So do you want me to go into that aspect? of
Yeah,
things? So
yeah.
Okay. So there are actually.
I cracked a joke that didn't go over well the other day. I learned my lesson
with who?
with you.
What did you say? With the feral.
Yeah, the feral
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so
that's another podcast.
I understand.
Of
It was not good.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing that I try and stay completely out of.
Okay.
And that would take hours to cover that.
Okay. But the wild horses in the West.
So the wild horses in the West. I'm trying to think of where to even start.
I don't know, but we have Dead Horse Point.
Yeah, but there's no wild horses on Dead.
No, they all died.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so in a short form, the wild horses where I take pictures west of Tooele, they were descendants of. They started probably when the Spanish came to North America.
Okay.
Started conquering.
You said probably. We don't know for sure.
Well, no, it is. I mean, that's when the horses were reintroduced to North America. Is when the Spanish.
I've just heard stories that they were somewhere here anyway.
No.
Before the Spanish.
No, not
Is that
before
not
the
true?
Spanish. That is not true.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like 1 million years ago, there was a form of the horse that
Like
died
the
off.
unicorn. I understand.
Yeah, the unicorn. Yeah.
Checks out.
Checks out.
Checks out. Yeah. Where's Google? Let's Google that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, there was not horses in North America
Okay.
before the Spanish came across. And then once they came across and started conquering North America and moving north is how the horses became more of a prominent figure in the West and in America. And then since then, like once Native Americans acquired horses and started gathering, their lives changed. And then the ranchers that came west, the cavalry that came west, the miners that came west, all those horses, as they eventually, here or there, they would get turned loose or get away, and they would become just, I mean, some people say feral, but to me, like, they're ingrained in the American West.
What's the definition difference between feral and like a wild horse?
Well, so some people would consider wild as being native to an area, like, like say, like elk are native to America, buffalo are native to North America, whatever. We all get the point.
Yeah.
No one likes the guy that corrects everybody.
Nobody does.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, but what I would say though is I argue that in the sense that like brown trout aren't native to North America either, and neither are rainbow trout.
Fishermen get into these arguments all the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so it's kind of like it's one of those things. To me, what those horses represent to me is just our history and part of who we are as Americans in the West and how it was settled, and they deserve a spot in the American West as far as that goes, and I think the horses that I photograph are like great ambassadors for the American West and what has come of it and the history and things like that. And so
is that why you prefer to take photos of those types of horses, or is it because they're unpredictable, because they're wild?
It's funny because I guess to me, like when I'm out with those horses, I feel that's where I feel like it's not that I belong, because I have a lot of other horse interests too and a lot of background in other areas of the horse world. But I'm like, I love it out there. Like, I love being out in the middle of nowhere. I love being alone with those horses. I love like being in the West Desert. I mean, and it's nerdy, and sometimes I even feel like kind of weird to say stuff like, but like it's like so romantic to be out there and enjoy like those spaces and be with those horses, and like they get to just be horses, you know. My day-to-day world. Horses,
I love that so much. No one tells those horses how to live on the
they
daily.
don't. They don't. But the horses that I work with day to day, and the world that I'm in day to day, everybody tells those horses every move they're going to make. You know, and that's okay too. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's such a release to me to like be able to go out and be with them and not have to worry about. I mean, because I shoe horses as well as do the photography, and like, I don't have to worry about those horses, you know, being good to shoe. I don't have to worry about them being sound. I don't have to worry about anything other than just enjoying their presence, I guess, in a sense. And I guess that's a draw to me, you know. And then when I take the pictures and I get home and I look at them, I'm like, holy cow, you know, like this is awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, I went to school for photography. Did you go to school for photography or just your sister?
My sister did.
Okay. I was in school with Jess's sister. We found out apparently. So and I learned a few things in school. It's important, but I mean, now there's YouTube and all the other things. So how did you get good at photographing horses?
Yeah. So everything in my life up to this point, I'd go full head on. Like my wife, it drives my wife crazy. Poor girl, like, has had to deal with me forever. You know what I mean? But like, so once I got into the better cameras, the better gear, I just started getting online, basically, you know, and started. I have like, I don't know, I've got, like, have you ever heard of lynda.com or like, they're online courses that like specialize in photography or different things, and I just buy them every year, and like I just spend tons of time listening to them. And then I had any photographer that I could get a hold of and pick their brains, I would do that too, and I still do that because I still just want to know. I mean, everybody, you know what I mean? You just like, you can learn from everybody. And so, but mostly it's, I guess, in a way, I hate to say self-taught because I don't think anybody really is, but like, I just get into it. I watch tons of YouTube, tons of, you know, and then I practice a ton. Like, I'm always trying to practice.
Do you have a style, or would you say that you have a look that you like?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've never really thought. I guess to me, it just comes out in what you produce, I guess. You know, I never think of myself, or I never think about like, I want this style. Like, it's not, I just like what feels good to me and what drives me to like, and I'm like, get excited about. That's the style, I guess.
So you produce, I mean, wonderful, beautiful photos. Fine art stuff. When did you start pricing and selling imagery, and how do you see that going in the future?
Yeah. So hopefully great in the future. No, I don't know. You know, honestly, a lot of it comes from social media. Just people request.
Like, I got like 17,000 followers on Instagram. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you counting? Honestly, like,
I'm impressed. It's
I know,
great.
but I don't try to put too much into that. You know what I mean? Like, because I just
do you think it helps?
Those are horse bots.
They're horse bots. That's true. They're horse bots.
The horse bots.
They're everywhere these days. Do they help sell?
I would say 90% of what I sell is almost because.
Are you serious?
I swear to you, because of social media.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a powerful tool. Like, you know, and I try not to put too much emphasis on it, but really, that's where a lot of those sales come from. And most of the time, it's people that I don't even like. Honestly, they'll just be like, they'll message me on Instagram, hey, can I get this print, you know, or this or that. And
so I followed you, and then other horse, because the algorithm works, right? Other horse accounts come up or whatever. And there was this other guy he has a crap ton of followers. He's also from Ogden, from Plain City or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Which we talked about. Who was that guy?
Yeah, Chris Dickinson, I think is who you're
Chris Dickinson?
Of. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it's a whole culture.
Oh.
Like, it's a whole thing.
So to me, like, just like these girls in the skiing and the snowboarding thing, the horse culture, the horse world is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right.
Like, there's drama everywhere. It doesn't matter.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
And that's what these guys were, you know, when they were talking about that stuff, I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, it's just like
The whole world.
humans are humans, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter like where you're from, what you do, like walking into that skate park and being intimidated.
Yeah.
Do you know like how hard it is to like, back when I rodeoed and around like people, you'd walk into an arena and like you were so outclassed. Like, so we were talking earlier about, like, I grew up in Ogden, inner Ogden. I didn't have any horses. I didn't get into any of that till I started hanging around with my wife and her family, and they introduced me into all that, and I loved it. Like, I've always loved horses. Like, horses have always been my thing. Just like you were saying, wanting to be in the mountains. You know,
that's cool.
horses have always been my thing, and so when I got that opportunity, I just took it and ran. But I can tell you, like, walking into those situations, like, there was kids that would have, like, families that have had generational type
I bet,
things,
especially
right?
in that world. I
Yeah,
feel like
exactly.
it's legacies.
And then here's this kid from the city that has, like, no family. My parents never went to road. They never. I mean, not that they didn't want it. It just wasn't their thing.
Yeah,
you know
right,
what I mean? It's
right.
just,
Well, because every time Michelle gets made fun of because she can't land a trick, she's like, "Let me show you my 7-iron."
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
no, I go by the drivers where it's not-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's legit, though, right?
No,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's definitely very similar. you
yeah,
know.
and so that's kind of how I got. I don't know. The photography thing has just started to evolve where now it's like it's such a like intense passion in my life that like I can't like it's all I think about. You know what I mean? Like I do other things because I have to, but it's all I think about. You know what I mean? Besides fishing, I love to fish. So everybody knows.
Saw that fishing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you
Yeah.
could be a pro fisher person or
Well, the funny thing is I actually thought I would do a lot more fly fishing photography and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what happened was every time I would go fishing, I could not put the fly rod down and go fishing
that's a
or
problem.
to take pictures. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So when I'm out with the horses, that's the other thing is like
when you're fishing, you're fishing.
That's right.
Okay.
And then when I'm doing photography, I'm dialed in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get it.
And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And so that's kind of how my brain works.
Do you have any
know?
tips for anyone who wants to start photographing nature, wild animals
Well,
in general?
as far as wild,
I love going to Yellowstone. I took all these photos.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
none of them have animals, you'll notice in
Yeah.
them because they're
Well,
hard to capture.
They are hard to capture.
Yeah.
And to me, the one thing that a lot of people don't understand is like how much time I spend out there with horses. Like I'll go out there and not see horses for all day, maybe. You know what I mean? And they might come out, we might cross paths at the very end of the day, and I get half an hour to shoot pictures. You know what I mean? And that's just a chance you take when you go out because they're wild. And they just like, and it's amazing how
You don't pose them.
I try. Remember that?
Yeah.
More Maine.
That was
That made me laugh. I was gonna
More Maine.
More Maine. Yeah. That was pretty good.
But Alex, I could get that. I understand that. Like we'll chat for about an hour and we'll get about 10 minutes of usable content. So we understand. So this,
Same thing. Same exact
Same
thing. Yes. Yeah. But no, I spend a lot of time out on the desert.
Yeah, I think people don't see that. You
No.
know, like they see the pretty photo.
Yeah.
and, but they don't see the hours that
Yeah,
probably
no,
went into that.
No, there's days I'll spend 12 hours and there's a lot of times like just like with wildlife too, you might find them, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's like looking at a horse
doing
out
any
in the
cool shit.
No, they're not doing the cool shit. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, so I just sit there.
Wait, what's
you know,
cool shit? When they're rearing up and stuff?
Yeah, or when there's any kind of activity, right? So like anytime they're interacting is
Yeah.
what I really try and capture because that's to me that's the essence of what I'm trying to find is like a story, some kind of a something that
Excitement.
excitement or something people can catch, and to me with the horses, like any movements they got, but I do have a lot of horse pictures where they're not doing anything, but maybe they have a good backdrop or maybe they're just neat looking horses that I just dial in on and I'm like, I am going to photograph this horse until I get some pictures that I like, you know what I mean? And that's how a lot of them come about too. I go out there and if I do happen to find them pretty early in the day, there's just horses that have that look or things that have that look that I'm just trying to get the best picture that I possibly can,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
It's Images by Alex Hoover.
And it's 10.
Correct.
Images by there's no underscores or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, I got on that early.
Images by Alex Hoover, Hover. Who's an account or a photographer you follow that you've learned the most from or you take inspiration from?
I didn't even wish you'd asked me that earlier. I
Oh,
could've
so
thought.
I didn't send you the pre-notes. Yeah.
Dang it.
We never do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have necessarily one. I follow a lot actually because I like I don't know. A lot of the wild horse photographers, you know,
Wait, time out. There's a lot of wild horse photographers, not just horse, but wild horse.
Tons of wild horse
Okay.
photographers.
So how do you separate yourself from those others?
I don't know. I think I have a little different look. Like, so here's one thing that I would say, and it's not taking anything away from other wild horse.
Oh, because I'm good.
Yeah, no.
So here's the thing.
Here's the
Yeah.
Let's break it down. I actually take good photos.
Oh, I'm gonna try.
He's like, step one, take
Yes.
good photos.
Yeah, that's as easy as that is, right?
But it's true. You have to take a good. Your photos are beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess to me, maybe the thing that maybe would separate me from other wild horse photographers in general is I've noticed that a lot of them aren't horse people. They're not like, I mean, I'm like born, or not born, but ever since I was 13 years old, I've been around horses every day of my life. Almost every interaction I have has to do with horses.
Yeah.
And that's not common. Like, horse people aren't generally into wild horses. I think they're curious.
No, but that gives you a
about
different eye than someone who's looking at
I guess
it from a different photography. Like if I'm really good at taking photos of landscape or wild animals, I'm going to approach it differently than you. Maybe I'm going to see different stuff than you.
100%. Like I understand like what a good horse photo looks like.
Yeah.
How they stand, what's good, what's wrong, like their postures, their movements, different things like that. I think that maybe helps me a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, I would think someone who understands horses would gravitate more to your work than maybe someone else's.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
That's for another podcast.
Wow.
We talked
The
about-
next one.
Yes, that's for the
Do you guys have questions for Alex?
Yeah, I have one. I'm curious to know like how you found like the confidence to decide one day like, hey, I want to get a studio space. Like when did that click with you, and when did you say, okay, this is actually a thing and I feel confident about my work and I'm going to make that leap?
You know, and I would go back to as far as everything that I've done in my life. I don't know that I've ever. It's not that I've just always known what I've wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I guess for some reason, like, and I think my past, like, I've been embarrassed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've failed a lot. I've gotten beat down a lot. But you just get back up and keep going, right? And so, to me, as far as confidence goes, it's just like the next step. I guess for me, it wasn't even like a confidence, like my work is great. It's nothing like that. It's just like, okay, if this is what, because. I mean, back to like taking pictures, like this is the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to do. And I don't have anything else. So I have to make money with this.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make it a career of some sort and make it produce for myself. And so to me, it was just like the next step. Okay, where do we go from here? Now and I needed a place to display all the artwork and stuff like that, and to me, it's like, it's not so much confidence, just like the next step. Like
It just made sense.
it just made sense.
Yeah.
And like I guess not being afraid of being embarrassed and somebody coming and looking at your work and being like, oh, it sucks, but who gives a shit, right?
Right.
I mean, like at the end of the day, like who cares? I mean, like everybody's so different. Everybody has
Right.
such different.
Wait, has somebody told you that?
what?
Has
What
someone
part?
been pretty critical of your work
I don't know, not to my face, but I'm sure that
on
they do.
Instagram?
Oh, I've had people on Instagram, but not. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I mean that's
different-
cheating because it's separated from you face to face. But
Yeah, I wouldn't say face to face, but I mean, I'm sure that it happens. You know what I mean? Like it's just part of life. Like
Things
Not
don't
like-
appeal to everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to everybody, and that's okay too. And I'll give you an example, like as far as like the horse world goes, like because the world that I'm from, again, like wild horses aren't so much a part of the world that I'm from. They kind of almost look down on them in a way because they're not the best bred horses. They're not, the highest, fanciest looking horses and stuff like that. And so, I know that there's people out there that are like, oh, who gives a shit, about that kind of stuff or whatever. But to me, it interests me. It's like I feel like I belong in that.
well,
like,
that means something.
What?
That it interests you. And
Well,
that's
yeah,
all that
sure.
should matter.
Well, sure, but I mean, I'm also okay. Let me give you a great. Like, I'm just trying to think
Break
of
it
an
down.
example. Let me
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it'd be like so you guys like getting into the snowboarding and the skiing and stuff like that, and then like the level of like skater that comes in and kicks you out of the park or whatever is like, and then you just like I don't know, it just kind of makes you feel less than because you're not the greatest whatever, it's the same thing. Like the horses, they just like they're not. I mean, I think some people do, but some people don't. You know what I mean? And so maybe I fight that in my own head in a lot of ways. You know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is like.
Well, we're all insecure at some.
Yeah, exactly.
something.
We all have insecurities. Yeah. And as far as like, you know, I don't know. I just think that like if people want to do something, they should just do it. And like,
You got to stick to what you love.
yeah, and who
And that
cares?
translates the
Yeah.
best. It's like I can see your passion, you know, like through your photos and through your voice. And you know, you can I'm sure hear our passion too. It's
Sure.
like that
Sure.
that comes across, and it won't resonate with everyone, but the people that it does resonate with, that's when it's
That's all
special.
you're looking for, right?
Absolutely.
It's all that matters at the end of the day.
It does, and I truly, truly believe that because I'm like I've just been around enough to know that like you're not going to impress everybody, and I don't care who you are. Like, and I actually plug my Instagram. I had a story about this
Please
the other
do.
day because that's what I was saying. Like, I've literally never heard of what's her name? Oh crap! I just freaking.
Who is it? A famous
We
person.
talked about this the other
did?
day. What's her name?
I don't know.
The big superstar lady.
Beyonce.
Not Beyonce.
Good guess. Lots of Grammys. Lots of Grammys.
She was at the Grammys. What's
Oh,
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. God, I don't know why that lost. But anyway, I've never heard a Taylor Swift song. And she's gigantic, but I've never heard of her.
Right.
So what difference does it make,
Right.
right? You know what I mean? Everybody's just got to find their people like you guys are trying to
Right.
find. And I feel like that's the important thing. And being good humans. Like being good human is way more important to me than any of this other stuff.
I think
You
that's
know?
I think that's something that we've learned in the last few years. It's just
Yeah.
kind of you got to stick to your lane and do what makes you happy. And you know, I think as long as you're doing that, usually it translates and affects other people in good ways. So.
Yeah, whether you know it or not.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Alex, though, one thing, we do have to find your one Taylor Swift song.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that is going to be.
The only
yet.
Taylor.
I'm
This is
not sure
the.
yet.
My wife and my kids, because I told them this the other day. They're like, "Oh, you've heard Taylor Swift songs." I'm like, "Well, I didn't know if it was a Taylor Swift song."
No, I want to find one that like you connect with.
Oh, that
Like,
I
it's-
connect.
Yeah,
with.
that speaks to you.
That speaks to me. That
We'll
make
just
me
start sending you
There
one a
is-
day.
like one that that would like make me want to go to one of her concerts.
Yeah.
Is that what it
Or
is?
No,
Or
maybe
like,
not, but I'll bet you'll find one that you connect with.
that you just
She
like, you know, you get in the
surprises us all.
car, you throw it on, you bop your head a little
Hey,
bit.
we all have like.
I have a Taylor Swift story.
Oh, well, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Hear
Did you? I was watching the Country Music Awards, and she had a song that mentioned Tim McGraw. It was one of her first breakout songs.
It's the only song I've heard.
So you have.
I have heard that one song.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But guess so.
Closet
she-
Taylor Swift fan. over here.
Closet.
No, I do have some closet. I'm a closet. Like my music is everywhere. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during that awards ceremony, she's on stage singing this song, and she walks down the stairs, goes into the audience, walks over to Tim McGraw, face sitting right next to Tim, and she puts her hand out and to shake Tim's hand, and she says, "Hi, I'm Taylor," and I lost it.
Oh.
Because the world shifted. Like she just took over country music. It went from Tim McGraw
When
to
was
her-
that?
to her.
'Cause I think I might have heard.
probably 10 plus years ago.
It was
It's
long-
been
I
a
feel
while.
like it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
spoken.
yeah. But I'm like, I said to my wife, I'm like, dude, this was huge. This was huge. And it was as simple as like a handshake to the man, and she just took over. It was
Wow.
wild.
Yeah, it is.
If you can go back and watch it on YouTube,
Probably won't.
probably won't, but it's awesome.
We'll send you the link.
Yeah, we'll send
Okay,
you the
send me
link.
the link.
We're gonna
Send
spam
me
your
the link.
Instagram now.
Todd, you got anything else for Alex?
I actually I have some curiosities.
Oh, good.
I'm so
Your mic is now in your face. So
Oh,
if you,
okay.
Yeah, scooch it
I'll-
down. There you go.
I'll have
Yeah.
some better posture here, but I'm so fascinated by the horses themselves. And we were talking about it a little bit before this podcast, but I really love that you say that it's romantic, and I'm such a feeler, I'm a crier, but like I love the energy that I'm sure that they bring. And if anyone has seen your photos, and for the audience listening, Alex's photos have such bold energy. These animals and these creatures are just vibrant. And so I'm just curious about more about like your experience about being around these animals, and also how many of them are there? Like what's it like out there?
Yeah. So that's the unique thing about the herd that I do go to. The Onaki, they're the Onaki is what they're called. They have so all the BLM has established like 177 herd management areas across the West between Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Oregon, and a few, like there's one that splits Wyoming and Montana, and a few that split Oregon and California. And I guess there's a few others in Southern California and whatnot. But anyway, this unique herd is they're actually, they travel together. So there's more or less most of the time when you go out there, probably 100 to 150 horses in one big herd. And so it's unique in that regard that like you get to watch those herd dynamics just unfold in front of you. And that is the amazing part to me. The like horses just like doing horse things, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, they do. It's intense. It's an intense thing. Like horses are crazy. Like they fight constantly. The studs do, you know what I mean? The stallions, and they protect their mares. They fight off other stallions. There's bachelor stallions constantly challenging the older stallions for their mares and places in the herd and different things and like that. And that is the most fascinating thing to me in the world to watch. You know, watch it all unfold in front of you. And those are what makes some of the great photographs that I've got.
Totally.
You
It's
know?
like being able to go to the African safari and actually see these amazing creatures in real life. But it's kind of in our backyard.
Yeah, it is in our backyard. And it's like, I don't know, being a horse person to me, like I said, like on a daily basis, I watch horses just do what humans want them to do. Every step of their day is dictated by a human. But when you go out with them, those horses do what horses do naturally, and it's really just like it's relaxing to me to just watch them do what they do, you know. And I think it's fascinating to watch nature do what it does, you know. And like every time I go out, I see something different. I see something new. I see the horse reacts a different way, or you know, or like a couple times that I've been out there, I've got pictures of horses that just like have chunks of their neck just hanging off of them.
Oh my god!
Yeah, no, I can show you guys.
They're wild.
Yeah, no.
That's so gnarly.
But they're so violent towards each other, but that they know no different. Like it's nothing that and that's the other thing. And this is the corniest thing as far as when it comes to like I think humans, I don't know. There's like horses are just like a tough creature that like to exemplify what being tough is all about, you know what I mean? And then the other thing is too is like I don't see like with animals, especially wild horses, they don't have grudges. They don't hold, you know, they're not like if they get beat up one day, they're like, oh, I'm gonna get back at that guy. It's just a matter of like, okay, I got to come back tougher or something, you know what I mean? And like just that nature, that raw. I don't know, you know. I love it because I feel like that. I mean, that's just the way I look at life, you know. It's like I've had to fight for everything I've ever had, and so do they, you know. And so I feel like I'm just like maybe a little more relatable to that scenario than I am with like
nature.
Yeah, and I don't like you were talking earlier, no drama, like there's horse drama, but I don't feel like it's the same. Like when things are over, it's over.
Right. Yeah.
And you just move on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, I wish we were all like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's maybe
like
that's
in the moment, and then it's done.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like honestly,
Drama sucks.
It does suck, and I don't do good with it, and I've never have. Like I've never like it. Never. I shy away from it. I don't like it.
I have a feeling Michelle doesn't like it either.
Yeah, I'm like literally this. Like you're saying everything that
Yeah, you know,
I'm really bad at it, and
I am
like you said, I shy away from it. And I'm just like not good at it.
I am not either, and maybe that's part of the problem. I'm
That's
not
a
good
great
at
thing.
it. You know what I mean? But that's the truth, though. Like you know, I go out there with them, and I just get to see the like. And this is going to be the corniest thing you've heard all night. But I
like that you're upping the corny level.
yeah,
with
as
this.
it goes, yeah. But I would be a wild horse, hands down, in any second. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like the lives that they live is like I could live that way.
Yeah.
Just like I would fight for whatever. I would like they live in like minus 20-degree temperatures to all the way to 110. The feed isn't always good. They have to travel a lot. I mean, this is like everything about it. The hardiness of what they represent to me is like the greatest human experience you could have, because it's like it's awesome. Like I don't know, you know, people that have to struggle. I guess I find more interesting the people that don't.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Absolutely.
people, you know what I mean? The people that like actually push themselves, the people that actually suffer, that can handle
through some
sacrifice.
shit.
Yeah. That is more respectable to me than people that don't. I guess, and that's what draws me to it.
Well, I have to say that I think a lot of that emotion comes through in your photos, and I just feel like you can see your passion through your photos, and so I wanted to ask a little bit more
Oh no, you're
about
good.
that.
You're good. So my website is imagesbyalexhoover.com.
Images by Alex Hoover. Imagesbyalexhoover.com.
Yeah.
Order all the
Sorry.
things.
Yeah,
our old next door neighbor Austin does print some
He
of
does
your
do
images,
prints.
which
He
is
did.
nice
He did.
on metal. And then they're not all on metal, but some of them are.
But I love metal, and I think I've been getting a lot of feedback about the metal prints. And I think a lot of people really like the metal.
Yeah.
So I could really see kind of going down those roads with the metal print.
Beautiful prints.
Yeah.
And is there a price range you want to give out?
As
How much you got?
How much you got? What's listed over there?
I go from so I have a printer at my house that I actually will print people just off my own little printer that's like a 13 by 19 is like $65-$70.
Oh, okay.
And then all the way to like the big.
So you could own your own Hoover.
You can,
Yeah,
if you
okay.
can, if that's your thing. I try, and that's the other thing is like I have a hard time. This would be a great another podcast too. Back to what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
we'll invite you
This
back.
is a
Yeah.
10-part.
Yeah, no,
It's a 10-part episode. Yeah,
the
we're
whole,
already long. Might as well. But yeah,
the whole art world to me is fascinating in itself. You know what I mean?
Todd's in it.
As far-
That's what he does,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. You know, as far as like, some people like how they become superstar artists, photographers, whatever it is that they do, how they become like that, and I would feel bad in a way just because I'm not a rich person. I don't come from that background. I don't know anything about that background to get to that point where somebody that was like me couldn't afford one of my pictures. I guess I would feel bad about that in a way. And that's probably
That's why
a
they
negative
make
thing.
bookmarks. Like Mangelson, I walked into his studio once.
Yeah, in Jackson or in
I left with a bookmark.
A bookmark.
Or a puzzle.
A puzzle.
Do a puzzle.
Yeah. Because I think even like the cheapest Mangelson book is like still $200 or $300
Yeah,
or something. You know,
stupid.
I mean, and again, that's another podcast.
Part 11.
Yeah, part 11. Yeah. Yeah.
Alex, you're an amazing person. Oh, that's fantastic. You're so beautiful on the inside. Who knew? Because you're so crusty on the exterior.
I know. Can we edit this in any way?
Gal brought
possible?
it out.
No, we got it all. Todd, you got any questions for Alex?
Too late. No, I don't. I am going to send you a link, though. You made me think about a photographer that spent 4 years going out at night trying to capture this underwater shot of a beaver at a dam. And it kind of takes you through the story of basically what he was going for. But it's that level of patience
Yes.
that this photographer had. 4 years basically repeating, the same scenario, just waiting for this shot. I'm like,
Yes.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
But then it was just everything for him. Like he got it. Like he got the shot.
And to me, that's the art of photography, right?
It really is.
It really is. I mean, to me, the patience, the work you put into it, the time you put into it, like as far as art goes and the difference between a photographer and an artist that actually paints or whatever, there's kind of a stigma there as far as is photography art like a painter paints.
Sure. Yeah.
But to me, that's what the photographer brings to the art world is the work he puts into it, or she. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But that's what makes photography art. Is what Todd is talking about right there. In my opinion.
Why are there more male photographers than female?
There's more males doing everything than females. I just feel like that's just.
I feel like for me personally, it's a confidence thing. That's why my question was geared to you.
Yeah, because a lot of the female
level,
photographers tend to plant themselves on the wedding side.
True, and portrait.
Yeah,
type
portrait.
stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Maybe because women are typically people persons, and they do better at that
I
stuff.
think confidence is a good call out. I think that's really bred into a young age, but also like motherhood.
That's what I was
in
going to say
general.
too.
Like
Yep.
mothers create creators. Mothers like
What?
What?
Man, mark that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So,
it's
I
true
think
though.
that-
But women really do. I mean, like like, I mean, I've seen it a million times, you know, women, once they get pregnant and start having families, they just change. Their
Absolutely.
mindsets change.
Their creative project is that baby. And fathers too, of course. But
yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
even
it's changing, which is cool. There's like this female snowboarder. Her name's Maria Thompson, but she had a baby early on, and she only became a pro, I think, at like 28 or 29. So super
That's an old
late,
pro, yeah.
but had the baby early on and still was filming when like after she had the baby, would bring the baby to the spot, like because it would go hit street spots. And I think like she was just on another podcast, which is really cool to hear, because just people like that and role models like that, I think
100%.
for women, just for me especially, because I'm like, I want to keep doing
100%.
sick stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I want to have it all, and it's really cool to see people like that having it all. Like you can still do it all, you still like do your interests, and you don't have to like.
you can, but I will say this too. If things change in your life and your kids become your main thing, that's
Right.
okay too.
Absolutely.
You know, it really
Right.
is. Like, I mean, I see it all the time in everything, you know, like whatever you choose to do is okay.
Absolutely.
as
Each
far
to
as-
their own. And
yeah.
it's cool to see people
Yeah.
still doing what they love.
Yeah.
yeah.
Todd, I got to wrap. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Nope, other than we should probably wrap.
Thanks to Banyan One for powering today's episode of the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. Listen and subscribe to Ogden Arts and Adventure on our YouTube. You can see our wonderful, beautiful faces and everyone here in the studio, which is amazing. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. The BanyanCollective.com is like the blog version of the whole thing. And the Podbean app. That's our old school app that we've had since day one. Or it's also on Android and iPhone. So DM us on Instagram if you want to be on the podcast. That's how we got you today, Alex, because I don't have your phone number. So I DM'd you. I slid into your DMs.
Yeah,
Alex,
good.
how did that feel?
I know it felt great. It's a good thing I happened to look at my phone because I was about to put it away for a little while.
I said, "What are you wearing?" And you're like, "I'm getting in the shower." So I'll be right there. Yeah, that was great. This week we will leave you with an outdoor jukebox, and this is a throwback to fall. Burn the whole thing down. This is the proper way on Van Sessions. We'll see you on the next Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sick of walking this tightrope. One hand in the other, one foot there, another, there and back again. Don't know how much longer I can make this one-way wonder. Began to look beyond places I've been. I gotta burn the whole thing down, burn all of it down, burn the whole thing down, start again. Oh, when I fall down, oh, when I'm being ground, oh, when I find silence from the sound, stay down, 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 down. With this line of friction bears my indecision. My movements need revision. Learn to lean another way. There ain't no changing my familiar situation. And there's just one single station, always saying what's to blame. I gotta turn the whole thing down, turn all of it down, turn the whole thing down, start again. Oh, when I fall down, oh, when I'm being ground, oh, when I find silence. down, down. I gotta burn the whole thing down. Burn all of it down. Burn the whole thing down. Start again.
So good. Original, proper way.
Yeah, so we're going to make some T-shirts that say "Burn the whole thing down." So if you're in such a mood at the moment,